Spiritual Principles, Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. The 32nd Spiritual Principle. Everything that the Partzuf receives inside it is called the internal light, and everything that is not yet received, but absolutely must enter inside of the Partzuf in the future, is called the surrounding light. In each sphera, we distinguish two kinds of lights, which are called or pnimi and or makif. For the light that dresses inside the sphera, in its middle part, is called by the name of or pnimi, inner light. And the light that cannot be dressed in its inner part, due to the limitations within the sphera, which it has, it remains as the root in her sphera, and emanates to it at a distance, which is called the name of Or Makif, the surrounding light. Or Makif shines in two aspects, in the aspect of the general and in the aspect of the particular. The concept of Sovev indicates a general surrounding light, and a Makif indicates a particular surrounding light. An interesting fact is that Keter means a crown, because it does not dress into the kilim of the creation, but that it surrounds and crowns the kilim from the outside, as Keter also means surrounding. From Tes, Talmud Eser Sfirot. And therefore it is considered here that the light belonging to the lower one is divided into two aspects. This is a small degree of light that it receives from the upper to the innermost, highest and deepest part of its kli that is in it. And this light that it receives is called or pnimi. And this is the first aspect. And the second aspect, it is the whole measure of light relating to the steps that remain in the lower and that it cannot receive due to the difference in attributes from the higher. And the whole measure is considered to be in the highest aspect of the light, and does not descend to the lower, and is called or makif. And it is called so because of the fact that it surrounds the lower one, because it shines from afar to him, because it does not dress in him, but that this glow is from afar and diminished. And the aspect of this distant luminescence is able to make the aspect of aviyut more subtle, which is in the lower, until it comes to correspondence or coincidence in properties of all the aspects that are in the lower with the properties of the upper. And then it will be able to receive all the light that belongs to him. And this is called the entry of the surrounding lights. That is, the surrounding lights enter and dress in the lower kilim, which become thinner and become all aspects of the Or Pnimi. Both the inner light and the Or Makif are connected in 4 stages. For the 9 Sfirot of the first, the Or Yeshar, they are connected and dressed in her Or Hoser, and they are called Or Pnimi. But the lights that are intended to come before the Gemar Tikkun, which are called the ambient lights, are also included in this Or Hoser, for they themselves are Or Hoser, as stated above. And they are destined, because of this, to unfold gradually over 6,000 years, and after them until the final correction, as explained in the related statement. That is, the Or Makif emanates to him and thins his kilim. And no matter how the kli resists, no matter how the person resists development, he cannot escape from this anywhere. He becomes civilized after being a savage, and then this external civilization penetrates into his heart, and he becomes corrected. It is impossible for anyone to avoid this, and this is already in the light. There is all the progress in the perfect future of what will become with the lower. It's amazing in this sense. Of course, everything is absolutely predetermined, but a person needs only to agree with this and develop this conformity of attributes within himself, and not wait until Or Makif strikes him with the highlight, which constantly wants to penetrate despite the resistance of the person. as he has nowhere to get away from it. No one can get away from it, and therefore it is wiser to joyfully agree. It is clear that there are two lights. The light comes to Peh, but only the light that can pass into the Partsuf can enter. This light we call Or Pnimi, the inner light. For this light there is a Masach in the Peh, the mouth. But there remains some part of the light which cannot pass, because there is no Masach in the Partsuf for it yet. In principle, the light always passes into the Partsuf, but immediately it comes out, departs. Have this always in mind. No one can block the light from going in. It always passes through the Peh all the way. What kind of light passes? The light that must pass, which corresponds to the Kelim that is there, even if the Kelim do not have a full Masach and do not feel it at all. It still passes through instantly. But the part of the light for which there is no Masach immediately disappears and does not even leave any rishamo. Something, of course, always remains, but it is not felt. The light passes to the Masach in the Peh is the inner light, or Pnimi. But the light that did not pass cannot calm down until it completely enters or penetrates the Partsuf. Therefore, it puts pressure on the Peh and wants to enter. And gradually it reduces the resistance of the Masach to its passage and then enters. What kind of Masach? Masach de Malchut, Mesayamet, the final Malchut, which comes to a place called Tabur. And the light of the Or Makif, which remains, reduces it, hits it, and also wants to pass. But the Partsuf has no strength. And then the Masach, Mesayamet, the ending, thins more and more, because it cannot withstand this, and then completely emanates. It turns out that, as it were, a forced situation, when the light leaves the Partsuf, when it comes out, the Kelim are obtained. And then the light comes again and again. He's forced to receive it and then bring it back. Same thing happens with us. A person receives pleasure, and when they're receiving pleasure, then it leaves him. It fills him, and then he expels it from himself. And so throughout life, the Masach is strengthened, but each time it is necessary to bring out the light, to expel it, because it is impossible to be constantly in a state where the light comes and puts pressure on you. The Or Pnimi himself wants to go further through the Tabur, and the Or Makif surrounding light also wants to enter, and they collide with each other, and because of this, the Masach is reduced. Here I explained some parts of the mechanism of this spiritual phenomenon. So, Moshe attracted with his own strengths the Vak of the lights of the Torah, the light of the Torah of the worlds of Bia, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiya, the light of the covenant by the flesh, which can illuminate only the lighter Kelim of giving, and only from afar, with the emanation of the surrounding light, while the Kelim of receiving do not receive the required luminescence sufficient for their correction and filling. They therefore remain for the time being in an unclean state, filled with darkness of the klipot. And Yeshua brought down the gar of lights with the luminescence of Or Chokmah, the spiritual Torah of the world Atzilut, the lights of Kabbalah, the inner Torah, the light of the covenant by the Spirit, Brit Chadashah. And only by this, his radiance of the Gar, it becomes really possible to illuminate and correct fully the Kelim of receiving. And only this receiving of Yeshua's light for the sake of bestowal in the Kelim of receiving brings liberation. Freedom from slavery of unclean forces, the accumulation of which is exactly in the Kelim of receiving under the Tabur.